Hi, this is Juliana, and today I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful Dark Fae necklace featuring this exquisite 27 by 18 deep red crystal. It's absolutely stunning, and I absolutely love the colors of this whole collection. The collection, unfortunately, is sold out. However, the contents of the collection are listed separately and on the website, and those generally are not sold out, and I will leave links to all of that in the description below. So let's move on to materials. The supplies you'll need to make this necklace include a 27 by 18 octagon. This color is really beautiful, but you can use it in any color. Some kind of clasp. I used the lobster claw that came with the collection. These are 20mm jump rings that also came in the collection. 4mm pearls, nibbit beads. These all came in the collection. So 2 colors of 15 O's, 2 colors of 11 O's, 2 colors of 8 O's, and bugle beads. These are 3mm. 11 O DELICAs. These 3 Firepolish also came in the collection. A 6mm, 3mm, and 2mm, and then these beautiful 3mm bicones. And I believe that's it. So let's get started. We're going to start by bezeling this really beautiful octagon. And I have threaded about 5 feet of thread to my needle and added a stop bead and put on 64 of the DELICAs. I'm going to go through a couple of those, or 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to do just simple peyote. So I'm coming out of that bead right there. I'm going to pick up a DELICA, skip the next bead, and go into the next. I'm going to put my thumb and finger over it because that helps it kind of slip into place. It doesn't always slip into place, but there, oh, it did. And buddy up in pairs. That's what we want it to do. Pick up a DELICA. Look at you, it unpaired. Anyway, pick up a DELICA, skip the next bead, coming out of this one, skip the next one, go into the one after that. Hold them between your middle finger and your thumb. Give it a tug. And it buddies up. And if it unbuddies like mine did, just coax it back down there, put it between your fingers, and tug it again. And there we go. One more time. Pick up a DELICA. Coming out of this DELICA right here, skip the next one, and go into the next. We are going to do that all the way around. I'm coming up to the end of my second row here, and I've got my DELICA already loaded. I'm going to go through this last, skip this last bead, coming out of this bead, skip the last one, go into the next one. And to the one next to that to step up. So now I've got a full ring of 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. If you don't have 1, 2s all the way around, something went awry and you have to regroup. Figure out where the problem was. So for this next row, we're going to pick up a DELICA, and we're going to go to the, coming out of this bead right here. You can see that, coming out of that bead right there, going into the next pokey outy, as I like to call them. Pick up a DELICA, and out of that bead, go into the next pokey outy. DELICA, coming out of that bead, go into the next pokey outy. And you'll notice when you do this, instead of having 1, 2, 1, 2, you've got 2, 2, 2, 2. So we're going to do that all the way around. I'm finishing my last DELICA on this round, going into the next DELICA and the one above it to step up. For this next row, we're going to do things a little bit differently. So I'm going to pick up an 11-0 Miyuki, and I'm going to use the gold. This collection came with a really dark brown as well. I'm looking for one to show you. But I'm going to use the gold for this round. You can use whatever you want. Into the next DELICA. We're going to pick up a DELICA and go into the next DELICA. Pick up an 11-0 into the next DELICA. And a DELICA into the next DELICA. And we're going to do 4 DELICAs in a row. Pick up an 11-0 into the next DELICA. DELICA into the next DELICA. Next DELICA. And then we're going to do 6 DELICAs in a row. Now pick up an 11-0. Into the next DELICA. And a DELICA into the next DELICA. $11-0. And then 4 DELICAs in a row. $11-0. DELICA. $11-0. And then 6 DELICAs all down that line, and I'll see you when we get back to the top. Coming up to my last DELICA, I'm going to go through the next pokey outie and the 11-0 above it to step up. And for this row, we're going to put a gold 11-0 on either side of these 11-0s. So everywhere there's an 11-0, you're going to put a gold 11-0 on the other side of it. And everywhere else, you're going to put a DELICA. So we're coming out of a gold 11-0, going into a DELICA with a gold 11-0. Going into a gold 11-0, so we're going to pick up another 11-0 and go into that one. Coming out of a gold 11-0, pick up a gold and go into the next DELICA. Pick up a DELICA into the next DELICA. DELICA into the next DELICA. DELICA into the next DELICA. Going back into a gold, so pick up a gold 11-0. Darn thread. Pick up a gold 11-0, go into the next DELICA. Gold 11-0 into the next gold. And 11-0 into the next DELICA. Now we're going to do DELICAs all along the way down until we get to this 11-0, and then we're going to do the gold again, same way we did here. And then do your 6 DELICAs on the other side once you get past your golds. And when you get to the end, which will be right here, you'll see we have little sets of 3 here, right? So you'll have a set of 3 here, but not here. So you need to add that last gold 11-0 here. And we'll see when we get to that point. Okay, having my last gold 11-0 and going into that gold 11-0 and the one above it to step up. So I've got my 3 and 3. I'm going to pick up a DELICA and go into the next 11-0. Pick up a 15-0 and go into the next 11-0. Pick up a DELICA, if I can find one, go into the next DELICA. And we're going to put DELICAs all across this little bridge between the 11-0s. That last DELICA going into the 11-0. And then pick up a 15-0 and go into the next 11-0. DELICA, next 11-0. 15-0, next 11-0. Give it a tug. Now DELICA's all the way down the side, and when you get in between the golds, you're going to add 15-0s. And when we're done, I'll meet you back. My last 15-0 coming out of this 11-0, I'm going to go into that 11-0 and step up into that DELICA bead. And pull all that kind of snug. Then I'm going to go down these two 11-0s. And up this 11-0 and the DELICA next to it. And we are going to put 15-0s across our little bridge here. So 15-0 into the next DELICA. $15-0. 15-0. And then down the trio, down the two 11-0s of the trio. Up the 11-0 and the DELICA. Down two. Up the 11-0 and the DELICA. And then we're going to put 15-0s all down the side. And when we get to the other side, we're going to do exactly the same thing. We're going to skip the trio beads, put 3 15-0s across the bridge, and then 15-0s across the bridge here, and then 15-0s back up the side. And when we're done with that, we'll meet back here. Coming up to my last side 15-0, going through that DELICA bead. Now coming out of the DELICA, I'm going to go up through this 11-0 and the 15-0 in the corner here. And I am going to pick up a 15-0, a Firepolish, the small one, an 8-0, and I'm using the kind of wine colored. There's a black as well. I'm using the wine color here. A Firepolish and a 15-0. And out of that corner, that little 15-0 there, I'm going to skip this corner and go into this middle bead right here in the middle of that 3 15-0s. Like that. Then I'm going to pick up a 15-0 Firepolish, another 8-0 Firepolish, and 15-0, And I'm going to skip this trio and go down to this little trio right here. The second one. Into that middle 15-0. There you have that. And I'm going to come back, I'm going to come through this 11-0, DELICA and 15-0 on the side. Pull all that kind of snug. And I'm going to pick up 15-0 in the other color, the black color, and go into the next 15-0. Next 15-0. Pulling all that kind of snug, and when I get all the way down, I'm going to come in, I'm going to get, well, let's just do it. It won't take but a minute. Sorry, I'm moving my whole mat here. Okay, just like this side, we're going to have this little 15-0, DELICA 15-0. So we're going to go through that DELICA and 15-0. Coming out of this 15-0, we just added that for fourth black 15-0. We're going to come down through the DELICA and the 11-0. Come up through the 15-0. And then we're going to add this again, and then go across with our dark 15-0s the same way we just did. And then we'll be back. On my last 15-0, going through that gold 15-0. Now I'm going to work my way around to the back of the piece. Coming out of that gold 15, I'm just going to go to the one right below it, the DELICA right below it, and see how many of those I can get through in a row. It's like about 3 comfortably. Alright, coming out of this one, I'm going to keep working my way back, down and back, if I can hang on to it. Right on up to that, till I get to a pokey outy bead. Where that thread came from. Okay, anyway, coming out of that pokey outy right there, I'm going to start adding the black 15-0s around the whole bezel. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. I got distracted by that stray thread. Want to go ahead and get your stone and put it in once you've gotten to the back. Gonna schmooze it in there and get it set where you want it. So you want this to be midline. And once you've got it how you want it, you're just going to hold it in there for now and go ahead and put in all of these 15-0s around the entire row here. No changing up anything. And when you're done with that, we'll be back here. 15 O's. Coming up to the last 15 O, I'm going to go into that 15 O next, the DELICA next to it, and up through the 15 O to step up. Now your stone's going to kind of slide around a little bit while you're doing this, so you just want to schmooze it back into place occasionally because your stone's moving and the bezel's moving. Now we're going to put in a row of gold 15 O's, just like we just did the black ones, all the way around. And then I will see you back. On my last 15 O, I'm going to go into that black 15 O and up through the next gold one to step up. And on this row, we're going to pick up a 15 O, go to the next 15 O, and then down that black 15 O next to it, and up the next 15 O. Pick up a 15 O, go to the next 15 O, and down the black 15 O next to it, because I should show that on camera instead of just saying it. And up the next gold 15 O. Pick up a 15 O, go into the next 15 O, and down the black 15 O next to it, and up the gold 15 O. We are going to do that all the way around. Coming up to my last 15 O. And pull all that snug. Look at the front, make sure we're still where we want to be. And I'm going to come, coming out of that 15 O right there, I'm going to come up through these two gold 15 O's. And then I'm going to pick up a black 8O. Coming out of this peak right here on this little triad. I'm going to go to the next peak on the next triad. I picked up a black 8O. Now I'm going to pick up a kind of this plum, I don't know, maroon 8O. I'm going to go from this peak to the next peak. You can use all one color if you want here. I alternated the black and the maroon. Another black one. Go to the next peak. Pulling those snug and pull them toward the stone. And then the maroon to the next peak. And we are going to do that all the way around. Now my last 8O here, going through that last peak and of the trio. Kind of pulling everything snug toward the stone, the crystal. I'm going to go up into that 8O, that next 8O. I'm going to pick up an 11-0. I'm going to use the gold. Go through the next 8-0. Through the next 8-0. Pull it toward the stone. I'm going to do that all the way around. I'm on my last 11-0. Going through that 8-0. Pulling everything snug. And then I'm going to go through these 15-0s. I'm going to work my way back around to the front of this. So if you can get through 3 of them, that's great. Get through whatever you can. Just make sure you follow your thread path. And you want to work your way to the front of the piece. And I'm coming out of that 15. I'm going to go to the DELICA next to it. And the one in front of that if I can get it. Oh, I got 2 in front of it. Great. Better yet. Go down the one next to that. A couple more. And then here. And where you want to be coming out of is this. I'm going to go up through this gold 15-0 right next to that. I'm going to pick up 3 15-0s and go into that Firepolish. I'm going to go through the 8-0 and the Firepolish. Pick up a 15-0 and go to the next Firepolish. And down through the 8-0 and the Firepolish. Pick up a 3 15-0s. And go down to that first gold 15-0. Now we're going to work our way down to the other side and come out of this 15-0 right here and do the exact same thing on the other side. And I'll meet you back. Okay, I have finished this piece here. I'm just going to go down the side. I'm coming out of that gold 15. I'm just going to come down the side through the 15-0s to get to the bottom. That kind of reinforces that anyway. Just through the 15-0s. And then I'm going to work my way up. I'm sorry, I got interrupted by my granddaughter and I have to figure out where I was here. So I am coming out of this DELICA right here. I am going to go down to the one below it and the one kind of catty corner to that. Just I'm all thrown for a loop now. Okay, I'm coming out of this one that has a black, a gold, a black, and a black. And I'm going to pick up a bicomb. Coming out of that one, I'm going to go to the one right below it, directly below it. Skipping the 2 that are side by side and go to the one in the middle below it. I'm going to pick up another crystal. Coming out of that one, go to the one below it again, skipping the two side by sides. Pick up a crystal. Gonna skip the two side by sides and go to the one below. Pick up an 8. I'm using the black. Coming out of that one, again, gonna go to the one, skip the two side by sides, go to the one at the bottom. Pick up a black, go to the one at the bottom. Black 8. DELICA at the bottom. Black 8. DELICA at the bottom. And now I am on this side where I was on that side, where there's a black DELICA, gold, black, black. I'm going to pick up a crystal and go to the bottom DELICA in that diamond. Crystal. Go to the bottom. Crystal. Coming out of that one with the black, gold, black, black, coming out of the bottom. And I'm going to run all down the side. Coming out of that one, go to the bottom with the black 8s, just like we did on the top. Just run down the black 8s, and then when you get down here to this little diamond again with the gold on the side of it, you're going to come out of here and put your crystal in and go through the bottom. So you're going to do the same thing on the bottom side, and then do your black or your 8s, whatever color you choose, up the side, and then we'll meet back. I am putting on my last 8, going through that bottom DELICA, and then I'm going to come up through the crystal. Pick up a 15-0, go through the next crystal, 15-0, next crystal, 15-0, into the 8-0, and I'm going to pick up an 11-0 and go into the next 8-0, 11-0 into the next 8-0, 11-0, next 8-0, 15-0 into the crystal, 15-0 into the next crystal, 15-0 into the next crystal. Sorry, I got interrupted by my cat and my granddaughter. It's a conspiracy. What we're going to do is we're going to continue this pattern all the way around. You're going to put a 15-0 on the other side of each crystal and 11 O's between these 8/0s. And just go on around to this side and whoop, all the way around to the other side up here, and I'll see you when you're done with that. I am coming out of I added my last little 15/0 there after my crystal. I'm going to go through, and I'm coming out of that 15/0, I'm going to go through the next 8/0. Pick up a 15/0, a bicone, and a 15/0. I'm going to go down to the tip of this little diamond that's in the middle of these Firepolish, so the very tip. Pick up a 15/0, a bicone, and a 15/0. I'm going to skip these two 8/0s, and I'm going to go into this fourth and last 8/0 in that row. And pull it all snug. And I'm going to go through this 15/0, bicone, 15/0, and the second bicone, and then down into this DELICA below it. And if you can, into that 11/0 next to that. If you can only do them one at a time, just do them one at a time. I'm going to go down this second 11/0, and if you can, through the DELICA and the gold 15/0 below that. Sorry, I'm referencing my photo because I forget how I design these sometimes, and I have to reference. Okay, I'm coming out of that 15/0 there. I'm going to pick up 3 15/0s. I'm going to skip this 11/0 here and go to the second one. Pick up 3 15/0s. Skip that 15 and go to the next one. I'm going to come up through that first 15/0 that I just added. Pick up 2 15/0s. Skip this next 11/0 and go to the next one. Pick up 3 15/0s. And out of the 11/0, skip that 15/0 and go to the next. Okay, sorry, my camera died. All right, we're going through that first bead that we just added. And I'm going to pick up a 15/0. And I'm going to go through the next 11/0 right there, which is the, if you look at this little, well, it's the next 11/0. I'm going to go up through this 11/0. And the DELICA bead above it, kind of catty corner to it, diagonally. Just the one DELICA, which can sometimes be tricksy. There we go. Up through that bicone that's above that, and the bicone and Miyuki's next to that until you get through that first 8-0. And now we're just going to do the exact same thing up here that we did down here, and on this side that we did on that side. But when you get finished with this side, what you're going to need to do is, well, when you get finished with this side, we'll be back. I've got my last 15-0 here coming out of that bead that I just added. I'm going to go into this bead next to it. And instead of going this way, I'm going to go down this way, this pathway. So, through those 3 beads, pull snug, go through the Firepolish, 8-0 Firepolish, 15-0 Firepolish, however many of those you can catch, and do them all at once or one at a time. Back through the Firepolish, 15-0s, and this 11-0. I might have to catch that 11-0 in a minute. There we go. Pick up one 15-0. I'm going to go down into this third. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3 beads here that we added before. I'm going to go into that third one. Oops. I have no idea how I did that. And it's going to be a problem. Couldn't repeat it if I wanted to. Well, I could, but I wouldn't want to. Alright, so we're coming out of that bead right there. I'm going to go down to the bead next to it. And I'm just going to follow these 15-0s along my stone. I'm going to go back into these, this 15-0 and these 3 leading up to the Firepolish. Same thing through the Firepolish that we did on the other side. 8-0 Firepolish, 15-0 Firepolish. We're just going to add that last little 15-0 on this other side to make everything look congruent. Through the 15-0s and the 11-0. Pull everything snug. Pick up a 15-0. Go back down through this third 15-0, this little set here. Sorry, I have something obscuring here. It's one of my lights. And then I'm going to do the same thing I did on the other side. I'm just going to go through this row here just to tighten everything up. Okay, now I'm just going to go through any way I can to get to the back, where I can go ahead and tie off my thread and get another thread going for the chain. So work your way to the back by however means you want. And if you want to watch me do it, that's fine. I can struggle to do it. Do that 15-0. Everything is nice and tight now. But if you have your own way to do it and you know how to tie it off, just go ahead and do that. And I'm going to time stamp everything, and the next section will be the chain. So I'm just coming through that bead there, and then I'm just gonna see if I can find a DELICA that I'm close to. Go through a couple of DELICAs and work my way to the back. And that'll work right there because you're not going to see that thread. The name of the game is as long as you can't see the thread, you're good. So I'm going to just go ahead and tie this off. I'm just going to go through, I'm coming out of that right there. Just going to go through a couple of beads, following my thread path, and then do a little back and forth. So go to the one next to it, down a couple. Really, you just kind of want to go back and forth, weave it a little bit, and make sure you're crossing your threads up. And what that's going to do is it's going to knot inside those beads, and your thread is not going to come loose. Once you feel like you've got it sufficiently knotted, and I think I'm about there, go ahead and tie off and burn off your thread, and we will meet back here. We are getting ready to work on the chain portion of this, the necklace portion, which I've already done on this side. And before I do that, I want to add one more row of beads on this bezel. So I'll make sure that I'm lined up where I want to be in the front. Schmooze it if you need to. And then we'll do that. I needed to add some more thread. And for the necklace part, I used about a wingspan and had some left over. So I'm going to put a wingspan on here to add these last beads and the necklace. And I'm just going to show you how to add the thread in case you don't know. If you already know, just skip this. I'm going to time stamp it, adding thread, and then last row of bezel. So I'm going to add it where I want to come out for this necklace piece is right near this last 8-0 on this row over here. So I'm going to start it near this 8-0 here because that's where I want to finish up on this side. And I'm just going to pick a bead and go through, excuse me, 2 or 3 of them. And leave a very short tail because I'm just going to cut it off when I'm done. So now I'm coming out of that bead. Just going to go to one adjacent to it and then up diagonally 2 or 3. What you want to do is follow your thread path so you don't have any thread showing. And crisscross your thread, coming out of that bead, going down the one adjacent, and through a couple more, so that you crisscross your thread in there and it kind of knots itself up. And then you don't have to worry about knotting it. And when you feel like it's secure, I'm going to do one more. Once you feel like it's secure, you can go ahead and clip it. want to be coming out of for this, let me make sure I got a good angle for this, is that inner row of 11 O's. So coming out of here, I'm just going to follow my thread path and work my way down to that inner row. Now I'm going to pick up an 8/0 coming out of this gold 11/0 here, going into the next one. Pick up an 8/0, skip your 8/0, go into the next gold 11/0. And pull it snug. So we're just going to go between the 11 O's and add an 8/0 and do that all the way around. I'm on my last 8/0, going through that last 11/0. Now I'm just going to go through all of these 8/0s again. So come up through that 8/0 and just start going through all of them again. Just the 8/0s. And pull them kind of towards the center and snug. And I am going to do that all the way around. I went around twice just to tighten it up really snugly. And what I want to do now is just work my way over to this bead right under this. So you want to be opposite. Well, you don't have this side yet, but when you get ready to do this side, you want to be opposite. Make sure you're on the correct opposite side. So I'm on this end. I want to be right under this black 8/0, that last one in the row, in that DELICA, right below it. So I'm going to work my way however I can get there without showing any thread. Just work my way through the beads. And here I am in this bead just adjacent to, well, make sure I'm on the right side here. Yeah, still got a ways to go. Alright, there I am. I'm going to end up right at that bead just below this 8/0. I'm going to pick up a bugle bead and a nibbit bead on the narrow end and slide that down. And pick up two 15/0s. I'm going to go on the other side of the nibbit. Pick up another bugle. And then we're going to go right into this DELICA below this middle Firepolish. So there's the Firepolish and the DELICA right below it. Now I'm coming out of that side of that DELICA. I'm going to go right back up through the bugle and into the nibbit. through the two 15-0s. Back through the nibbit and the bugle. I'm going to look at this DELICA and see which side I went in to the bugle from, and it was this side over here. I'm going to go back through the opposite side. Hope you can see that. Just go through the opposite side. Oh, it's actually this side. So I'm going to go back through the opposite side of that. Kind of can be tricky to see with all this black on black. There we go. Then back up through the bugle and the nibbit. Through the two 15-0s. Back down through the nibbit and the bugle. And on the bead that you're coming out of this DELICA, just make sure both sides of that you captured on both sides of that DELICA. It just all reinforces this and also positions us where we want to be. Then back up through the bugle and the nibbit, coming out of that top hole of the nibbit. Now we're going to start this series that I did on this side. So it's going to be an 11-0, a Firepolish, an 11-0, one of the larger Firepolish. I think these are the 6mm and the 3mm. I will have all these sizes in the description. So it's the smaller Firepolish, not the smallest though. The medium Firepolish and the larger Firepolish. 11-0, Firepolish, 11-0, nibbit from the top, 11-0. That'll get us started. Slide those down. $11.0, Firepolish, $11.0, larger Firepolish, $11.0. As you can see, we're going to just repeat this pattern. Firepolish, 11-0, nibbit on the larger side, 11-0. So if you look at our pattern here, we're basically doing a Firepolish with 11-0s and a nibbit in between. That and the nibbit. So 11-0 Firepolish set, large Firepolish, 11-0 Firepolish set, nibbit. Oh, I got an extra one there. I got to take that off. 11-0 Firepolish set, big Firepolish, 11-0 Firepolish set, nibbit. We're going to do that as I made this as about a 16. I wanted it to be more like a choker size. So however long you really want it, but for the choker size, I added, let me count these if I can get this straight a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the nibbit beads. So we're going to do this until we have 6 of the nibbit beads, and then also add the, that's the 6th nibbit, and then add the small fire polish set and the big fire polish, and then an 11-0, and then we'll go to the end section there. See you in a minute. I have finished this little series, and I'm ending. I have my 6 nibbits, and I am ending with, I've added the larger, these are 3mm, 6mm fire polish, and I've ended with the 3mm fire polish and an 11-0. And then I'm going to add 15 of the 8-0s. I'm going to use the black for this. You can use whatever you want. And in between those 15 8-0s, I'm going to put one 11-0. Slide those down once you get them. And double check your count. Well, not really. Here's the thing. You can make this as long or short as you want to, depending on how long you want this to be. So, but yeah, 15 is what I added. And then pick up 6 of your 11-0s, and I did these in the darker brown. Slide those down. And come up through the first one. Pull that down and pull it snug. And then I'm just going to flip it over here so I can bead in the right direction. Coming out of one of the 11-0s I just added, I'm going to pick up an 11-0 in the gold and go into the next one. 11-0 gold and into the next one. We're going to do that all the way around this little circle. When I get down to the last one, instead of putting one in between these two, I'm just going to go back down into this one. Give it a pull. Back up into this one, the first one. Give it a pull. Now I'm going to go around this ring again, but I'm only going through the brown 11-0s. When you get to that last one, go through the last one and down into the gold. And on down that line of 8-0s. I'm going to go through the 11-0, small Firepolish 11-0, through this whole row of Firepolish 11-0s and into the nibbit and through the other side of the nibbit. Pick up 2 15-0s. Go through the bottom side of the nibbit, the narrow end. Two 15-0s. And back through the top. Oops. And you can go right on through all of those beads and into the next nibbit and out on through the next nibbit. So you have little 15-0s now on your nibbit like that. 2 15-0s. Through the narrow end of the nibbit. Two 15-0s. Up through the top of the nibbit, the wide end, and through your whole row of beads so you get through your next nibbit. We're going to do that all the way down the line. I'm coming to the end of the 15-0 edition, to the nibbits. I'm going down through to this last nibbit here, through the last nibbit. And then I'm just going to make my little circuit again through the bugle. And through the DELICA. And back up through the bugle. And through just the bugle. Just the nibbit. And go down, have an 11-0 here and 2 15-0s. I'm going to go down the first of the 15-0s. Now, I'm going to pick up a 15-0, an 8-0, a 15-0, a bicone, a 15-0, a pearl, 15-0, bicone, 15-0, 8-0, 15-0. I'm coming out of that second 15-0 on the nibbit. And I'm going to go up through this second 15-0 on the next nibbit. And then through the nibbit. Down 2 15-0s. Pick up 4 15-0s, a 6mm Firepolish, and one more 15-0. Slide them down. Go back up through the Firepolish in the first 15-0 of the 4 you just added. Just going to pull that bottom 15-0 and tighten it up a little. And then 3 15-0s. And through these 2 15-0s on the side of the nibbit. Through the nibbit. Skip the 11-0 and go down through the first 15-0. And then again, 15-0, 8-0, 15-0, bicone, 15-0, pearl, 15-0, bicone, 15-0, 8-0, 15-0. Now I end up getting 2 beads instead of 1. Double check your beads, they're sneaky. Coming out of that first 15-0 on the nibbit, go to the next nibbit and go up the first 15-0. Make sure you can see that. Through the nibbit. Down both 15-0s. Pick up 4 15-0s, 6mm Firepolish and a 15-0. Slide them down. Go back through the Firepolish and the first of the 4 15-0s. If it gets wacky, you can pull that bottom bead and get it up to the top there where it belongs. Three 15-0s and up the 2 15-0s on the other side of your nibbit. And back through the nibbit and work your way to your next, oh no, back through your nibbit, sorry. Back down through that first 15-0 to add your next little swag piece. So we're going to do that all the way across. I don't know if y'all can hear that thunder, but it's pretty gnarly out there today. Not that I don't love a good rain. Okay, I finished both sides of the necklace, and now went ahead and added a jump ring on this end. Just going to pop a jump ring on this side. And my lobster claw. Was that up good? And that's how you can close it. All right. I'll be right back. I'm going to get it presentable. Okay, there we are. That's completed. I hope you enjoyed making it. I enjoyed making it and designing it. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more like it, hit the notification bell. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. It's free for you, and it really helps me to build this channel so I can continue making more like this. And just FYI, I'm working on an earring for this too that I'm also going to have a video for. So that's upcoming. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye.